She saw the girl sob next to the guy, downcast, and her eyes glistened with tears as she stroked her fingers. The child slipped the waitress a drawing under the table, and even though she sensed something was horribly wrong, she was unable to contact 911 quickly enough. Olivia Jackson never imagined that she would conclude her day by phoning the police. She had never been the kind to meddle in other people's affairs, since she believed there was little benefit and too much labor involved. Considering what fate had given her, she felt it was only right to lead a life of solitude. She had learned from the outside world to rely on herself and never stick her nose where it wasn't supposed to. But that day, even she would end up breaking her rules. Olivia seemed nothing like many other 21-year-old New Mexican college students. She was trying to figure out how she was going to pay her bills at the end of the month, while many people her age were busy enjoying college life. Despite being among the best students in her high school class, she narrowly missed out on a full college scholarship, which meant her older sister had to pay for her tuition. But for her, things were about to get far worse. Olivia and her older sister Kate were orphans. Kate had taken on formal guardianship, being 6 years older than Olivia. Kate therefore reminded Olivia that she needed to get a full scholarship to college when she entered her senior year of high school. Olivia started working as the two's inheritance would not cover their education costs. She put a lot of effort into her studies for months, earning high marks. She was sure she would get the scholarship. Olivia wanted to relieve her sister of the burden, as she had already contributed enough to get her where she was. As they both occupied the living space, Olivia eagerly ripped apart the envelope containing the scholarship letter. Her heart shattered into countless fragments as she absorbed the contents. Tears welled up in Olivia's eyes as she perused the rejection letter, signaling the need for her and Kate to devise an alternative plan to cover her college expenses. Adding to the distress, one of the premier medical schools in the country had extended an acceptance letter to Olivia. All that stood between her and the pursuit of her dream of becoming a surgeon was the resolution of financial matters and catching the earliest buses. Little did she know that leaving her small town wasn't in the cards. Similar to many young individuals, Olivia had entrusted all responsibilities to her adult guardian. However, she could now discern the toll this was taking on Kate. One night she approached her, suggesting the option of finding a local medical school with more affordable tuition. Olivia proposed the idea of living in an off-campus apartment and working to cover her utility bills. This decision was destined to alter the course of her life. 1 year into this new chapter, Olivia toiled as a waitress in a modest diner. Life had dealt her its fair share of blows, and she aspired to concentrate on her studies to improve her circumstances. Socializing was not a priority, and she chose to lead a solitary existence. However, this tranquility would soon be disrupted. On this particular day, a fatigued Olivia wiped down the counter of the small diner, her weary eyes scanning the almost deserted room. It was another routine evening for her, with familiar customers coming and going. Over the years, Olivia had developed an affection for the place, although she never vocalized it to her colleagues. The comforting ambience and home-cooked meals of the diner resonated with her. Unbeknownst to her, her actions were about to bring everything to an unexpected standstill. Olivia diligently continued wiping down the tables, offering warm smiles to the occasional customer as she eagerly awaited the conclusion of her shift. Despite the imminent need to head to her apartment and prepare for a test scheduled by her lecturer the next day, Olivia harbored dreams and aspirations beyond her current role as a waitress. She remained committed to working hard until each of her goals was achieved. Lost in her thoughts, Olivia's focus snapped to the diner's entrance when the front door chimed. A man stood there, the rays of the setting sun casting a glow behind him. Though he concealed his face under a cap, Olivia could discern signs of fatigue, bloodshot eyes, and worn-out clothes. Worry marked his demeanor. Following closely behind him, a little girl cautiously poked her head out while maintaining a distance from the man. Choosing not to judge based on appearances alone, Olivia continued her duties as the man entered the diner, with the little girl trailing behind. Their attire suggested a lengthy and arduous journey, and Olivia couldn't help but feel that they seemed out of place. If only she knew the true nature of their situation. The man guided the little girl through the sparsely populated diner, seemingly in search of a booth offering a strategic view of the parking lot and the diner itself. Choosing the farthest corner, away from prying eyes, heightened Olivia's curiosity. Introducing herself, Olivia was on the verge of inquiring about the well-being of the little girl when she observed something that made her hold back. Offering the menu with a beaming smile, she suggested coffee, but the man remained silent, staring her down until she retreated. Sensing that something was amiss, Olivia couldn't ignore the stark contrast between this situation and the usual joyous reactions of children to food. The little girl appeared withdrawn, with puffy eyes and a runny nose, indicating recent tears. Olivia refrained from asking if the girl was the man's daughter when she noticed a crucial detail. Despite arriving together, the man and the little girl bore no physical resemblance. Olivia noted distinct differences in their features: silky black hair, dark brown eyes, and medium dark skin for the man, while the girl had blonde hair, bright gray eyes, and fair skin. Observing these variations, Olivia suspected they were not related, although she acknowledged the possibility of being mistaken. She remained composed, patiently awaiting their order before deciding whether to intervene. Returning to the counter, Olivia grappled with numerous questions racing through her mind. What circumstances brought them to the diner? Were they fleeing someone or something? The diner, accustomed to a lack of drama or chaos during Olivia's time, now felt thick with an ominous tension centered around the man and the little girl. Olivia passed the order to the chef and waited patiently for the food. The man had ordered a plate of pancakes for himself and the girl, with coffee for him and a cup of hot chocolate for the girl. The order struck Olivia as odd, mainly because it was evening. No one ever ate pancakes at this time of day. She couldn't help but wonder why the man had made such an odd decision. Olivia's gaze kept straying back to the booth in the corner while she waited for the order. She noticed that the young girl's cheeks were full of tears and her eyebrows furrowed. The girl started crying as soon as the man muttered something in her ear. The moment her eyes met Olivia's, she pulled herself together. What was happening? Olivia felt like the one responsible for determining what was obviously wrong in this situation. She had to find out if the girl required any kind of help at all. What was causing her to cry so much? Olivia took the man's order and smiled softly as she walked over to their seat. She put some hot pancakes on a platter in front of the little one. She wanted to talk to her until her sight inched to the man. He was glaring at Olivia, the anger in his eyes shimmering. "That'll be all, miss," he said. But the girl sobbed by his side, although a glare from him rendered her quiet. "We'll call if we need anything," he added, pulling the pancakes before him. The child's eyes watered as Olivia backed away. If Olivia had harbored any suspicions before, they were now confirmed. Returning to her vantage point at the counter, she pondered her next course of action. Whatever unfolded in the diner had nothing to do with her, and self-preservation dictated staying out of situations that offered no personal benefit. Life's challenges had taught her the value of keeping her head down and avoiding unnecessary entanglements. However, the image of the little girl lingered in Olivia's mind, challenging the pragmatic approach she had adopted. Despite the hardships she faced, Olivia questioned the kind of person she would be if she ignored her rule for the sake of this vulnerable child. With beads of sweat forming on her forehead, Olivia hurried to the back of the counter, feigning the task of dusting while discreetly keeping an eye on the girl. Observing that, unlike the man, the girl hadn't touched her food and hadn't even taken a sip of her hot chocolate, Olivia ate back a curse. The realization struck her that she couldn't comfortably sleep, knowing she had turned a blind eye to a girl in distress. Her heart pounded in her ears as she formulated a swift plan to separate the girl from the man. Olivia felt an urgency to speak with her privately and assess whether assistance was needed. Swiftly, Olivia hurried over to a table near the two, picking up a jar of water left there. Passing by the man and the girl, she stopped. "Do you want to use the bathroom, honey?" she asked the girl. "Why?" the man asked her. "I noticed she hasn't touched any of her food," Olivia said without sparing him a look. Going down on one knee, she quietly slipped a small piece of paper she'd torn off her server book into the girl's hand under the table. She stuffed a pen together with it, but this was only the first phase of her plan. Olivia spilled some of the water from the jug on the floor and quickly started to clean it. She glanced at the girl, smiling before her sight darted to the paper and pen in her hands. Her heart rate increased as the girl started scribbling on the paper. Olivia could see how nervous she was. She started talking to the man to draw his attention away. But would her plan work? The man was curt with his answers, but he barely looked at the girl, who continued scribbling despite staring at the pancakes before her. When she was done, she dropped both the pen and the paper and leaned into her seat. Olivia reached over to the paper, pretending to clean under the table before rising and walking away. She quickly made her way to the kitchen and had a look at the girl's drawing. Her mouth dropped open as she read the one word written on the page: "Help." Olivia called the police right away, and they showed up on the spot without any delay. The young child had been abducted, it turned out, and the authorities were looking for her actively. The girl was able to safely return home, and the abductor was immediately captured. Olivia's ability to think quickly and follow her gut proved essential in saving the girl's life. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and ring that notification bell to stay updated. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care.